Welcome to the 2015 East High Basketball Ring of Honor ceremony here at the upper gym of East High's basketball stadium in Waterloo, Iowa. Before we get started, a few housekeeping tips. Our restrooms are located downstairs and to the left. If for some reason we had to evacuate, I would ask that you evacuate to my left, your right in an orderly fashion. And my grandson and I, Xander, will follow you and make sure that everyone exits safely. In terms of additional housekeeping items, when you leave, please make sure you take your items with you so that we have an expeditious cleanup upon conclusion. I'd like to thank Ms. Paget, our athletic director, Mr. Pace, our legendary coach, Mr. McGraw, our family and friends for attending. It's certainly a privilege for me to be here today, and you're going to hear some incredible stories tonight. The East High Basketball Ring of Honor's mission is to recognize former East Waterloo basketball players, coaches, and staff who have contributed to their team's success, excelled during their playing years, made a positive contributions to the team and the community in which they live, and who have left a legacy of citizenship while promoting academic excellence for all student athletes of the Orange and Black. In recognition of their accomplishments, each inductee will get their names on a plaque, which will be on permanent display at East High, a specially designed polo shirt, a Ring of Honor certificate, and an opportunity to acquire a limited edition East High School basketball Ring of Honor ring designed by yours exclusively. Everyone looks great, so let's get started. When I think of this year's class, the one thing that comes to mind is patience. The patience it took to go beyond traditional norms and expectations, setting new standards and becoming a role model to young girls across the globe. The patience it took to balance academic with sports, whereby he is noted as one of the few African Americans in the state of Iowa to be named Academic All-State during his high school playing years. The patience it took to understand that obstacles were meant to be overcome and serving a higher power is gratifying and satisfying to his spiritual, personal, and professional growth. The patience it took to accept, respect, and embrace the lessons academics and sports can teach you. You guys wait. It's hot up here. The patience it took to coach and nurture his offspring, thereby establishing a basketball legacy in our community in that he is the only father to have himself and two sons be voted as Metro MVP and first team All-State at the same high school. The patience it took to realize that his impact and his voice could be felt across the globe. The patience it took to embrace learning at its highest level and become a pioneer in his own rights. Now it's time to meet the people of patience, the newest members of East High's Ring of Honor family, the class of 2015. Our first member played basketball at East High from 1986 to 1990. She was selected to the honorable mention Big 8 conference team during her sophomore year. During her junior year, she was selected first team Big 8, second team All-State, while averaging 21 points and 9 rebounds a game. During her final campaign, she was selected first team Big 8 Conference Player of the Year, first team All-State, and she averaged 17 points and 10 rebounds a game. Can you say double-double? Double-double. She attended the University of Utah from 1990 through 1995 and played power forward. During her early years of playing, she recovered from an ACL reconstruction surgery on both knees and reconstructive surgery on her left shoulder. As a result, she redshirted her first year at Utah and became a full-time starter a few games into her sophomore year. From that point on, she started the remaining games of her career. Her college accolades include being selected as a sophomore to the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference All-Tournament team, as a junior and senior, selected as the team captain, and selected as first-team WAC All-Conference player. She scored 32 points versus Fresno State, had 22 rebounds against San Diego State, and she earned 2 bachelor's degrees from Utah, one in behavioral science and health, and the other in sociology. Post-college, she relocated from Salt Lake City to Los Angeles, where she spent time working as a counselor for teens as a residential treatment facility. She continued her education by earning her special education teaching credentials from the National University in Los Angeles. She began teaching PE and health at a small private school, and interestingly enough, started playing QB, quarterback. You hear me? Quarterback for the Women's Professional Football League in Los Angeles. Regrettably, she had an injury, broke her leg, and decided that was enough with football. She relocated back home to Waterloo in 2010, where she met up with Dr. Pappas at our city rival West High and secured a special education teaching position, and is currently in her 6th year as an assistant varsity girls basketball coach. In the pursuit of excellence, she has recently enrolled in the Educational Leadership Principalship Master's Program at the University of Northern Iowa. We got some networking opportunities for you in here. Ms. Wallace? With the intent on becoming a school administrator, principal, after graduating. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure I introduce to you our first female inductee and our first inductee, Andrea Howard. Harrow.
Wow, this is an incredible honor, and I want to thank you all for coming out tonight, and thank you to the Ring of Honor Committee for setting this up. It's truly an honor to be a part of this class of 2015. I guess I'll just start out by saying that I was lucky to have discovered my passion at a very young age. I knew I wanted to play basketball. Someone told me what it meant to be, a college basketball player, what a basketball scholarship meant, and from then on I had a dream to be a Division I player. And I set some goals and I worked hard, so by the time I got to East High, I knew what I wanted to do. And at East, I received so much support from my teachers, my classmates, just the staff in general, and my teammates, coaching staff. I was just given so many opportunities to develop my skills, and I was able to realize my dream to play Division I basketball. And my time at East High is just full of just fond memories. And it really, I guess I could say, just provided the foundation that I needed to be successful at the college level. So I can honestly say when I put on the orange and black, I was really honored and proud to do that and represent East High every time I stepped onto the basketball court. And I just want to thank everyone for their support over the years. I see a lot of people in the audience here that are familiar faces. And just to wrap it up in closing, I will always be proud to be an East High Trojan. So thank you.
Go Trojans. I think we need to get her signature on a football up in here. All right. An outstanding player in his own right. This individual was born in Greenville, Mississippi. He lived there until he was 10 years old. Shortly thereafter, he relocated to Memphis to live with his father, where he claims he discovered sports. He states, "It was a way to pass time, and most importantly, stay out of trouble." I think there's a bunch of us that can attest to that. A coach once said to him, "You hate to lose, and that's also what he remembers about East, and I can attest to that. We hated to lose too. Always wanting to win at every sport, football, basketball, track, it didn't matter. He also mentions that at East High, this is where he learned the characteristics and traits of manhood. He pays homage to his mother, Miss Mary, his brother, Bill, who is his BFF, and people like Walter Reed Jr. He participated in sports from 1971 to 1973. In 1972, he was selected All-City and All-Conference in basketball. In 1973, he was selected All-City, All-Conference, and First-Team All-State in football. During that same year, he received honorable mention in basketball. In track, he was first in the 440, second in the 880 relay, and third in the high jump. He literally was a three-sports letterman: football, basketball, and track. He attended Nyack University. I think several of our inductees attended Nyack. They do some serious recruiting here in Waterloo, where he received all-district regional first-team honors as a wide receiver. In his final year at Nyack, he received junior college All-American honors. He accepted a full-ride scholarship to the University of Missouri, and to no surprise, during spring football practice and into the fall season, he was running neck and neck with two teammates who ultimately got drafted into the NFL, Tony Galbraith and Rick Church. You know those names, pretty powerful people. Tell you a little bit about this inductee. He points out, you have to seize your opportunities and make the most of your great choices. He reminds us that those that aspire to fulfill their dreams should stay in school and take advantage of the opportunity to further your education. When sports conclude, education is what will make the difference. After college, he relocated back to Waterloo, resided for a while in Denver, and made his final move to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where he has resided for the last 30 years. Professionally, he is employed at Chevron Corporation and has been an employee for 25 years. He has held positions to include warehouseman, delivery driver, fuel carrier, and fuel dispatcher, overseeing fuel delivery to some 50 gas stations daily. He's the proud father of 5 adult children and one of my mentors. I present to you Sammy Minton.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate this. It's great to be here after being gone for so long as far as walking these halls of Troy. I graduated from East High in 1973. You know, that was the year basically East High had a 56-game winning streak that was broke, you know. But before I go any farther, I would like to thank those on the committee for selecting me for this. And I'd like to pay homage to all these other nominees. It's great to be here. And of course, there's a lady sitting out in the audience that I don't know what to say. I'm just, as much as this honor means to me, and I do appreciate it, it means more to me. See my mom, Mary, sitting out there, my brother, Theophilus, you know, and all my family and friends. It's great. This is what this is about for me, you know, being able to share it with them, you know, is great. And I'm just so thankful and blessed. You know, I came up through the ranks like a lot of people. I've been told that it's not the same here at East as it was when I grew up. We had a legacy that we wanted to follow, a bunch of great players that played here that we want to follow after. I'm talking about people like Jerry Moses, Andrew Robinson, some of the greats. It's unfortunate it's not like that now, but there's no reason it can't be, you know. I was always told it's fine if athletics show you the way, but don't never let it be the way. Education is the true way. And we have to strive and get back to that to show the generations coming up that that's what it's really about. I'm so thankful and blessed to just be here, to be around family and friends, and to receive this honor that's been stored upon me that it really is really great. And I'm just so appreciative of it and thankful of it. You know, to see so many people that I went to high school with, to talk with them and speak with them about the things and the times that we had. Those are the times and moments that I will cherish from all of this. It's really special, and I'm just really thankful for it, and I do really appreciate it. And like I said, I just cannot say enough about just being here again and just seeing East High and what it represents to so many people. And for so many of us, for so many years, it was really a special place. Not that it's not now for the generations that's coming up. You know, I just truly hope and pray that as you go through life, you know, you hold on to the things that are really important to you and cherish them. You know, as I spoke earlier, like this moment is cherished in my heart and my thoughts and prayers because my family and friends are here. That's what makes it special. And I pray that as you guys go through life and enjoy it, and you'll appreciate the same things, you'll find out what's really important. And that's what's really important to me. And I'm just so thankful. I'm so thankful for the neighborhood I grew up in, the people there. So many of us didn't grow up with a father. But we had people like, people call him Luco. I call him Mr. Ellison. He was like a mentor in the family. And he was like a neighborhood father, you know. And he kept us on the right path. You know, if it had not been for people like him, a lot of us probably wouldn't have made it to the point that we did. And what I mean by that is, you know, he helped us, he told us, he encouraged us. And I just appreciate him so much. And every time I see him, I make sure that I let him know how much I appreciate that. You know, and it was people like that that brought me to the point of being able to honor and show much pride and honor when we walked the halls of Troy, East High, you know, and took things with honor and appreciation. And I just hope that at some point in time, each and every person here, if you don't have it, will get an opportunity to be honored and, you know, express it and enjoy it. And I hope it will feel joy in your heart like it has mine. I'm so thankful and blessed. And I just thank everyone again, especially my family, for being here. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Unfortunately, our next inductee is not able to attend this evening, but his brother Scott is stepping in for him. Our next inductee joined the Trojans in 1989 and played varsity each of his 4 years of eligibility. He remembers playing 4 quarters of sophomore ball and then playing 2 quarters on the varsity level. In fact, he was on the 1990 championship with several of the inductees up here. Rip, Lashi, and our recently elected mayor, Quentin Hard. He joined the starting lineup his sophomore year and averaged 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. He was also selected to the honorable mention state team. His junior year, his team had a 3rd place showing in the state tournament, while averaging 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. He was selected first team All-State. His final season, he made it to the tourney, and he averaged over 20 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. He is one of only 9 players in Trojan history to be selected to the All-Tournament team. That group includes players like Charles Burkett, Rodney Wallakin, Mike Henderson, Carlton Reed, Leighton Nash, Cortez McGee, Mike Davis, and yours truly. He was also selected to the Dr. Pepper All-Star Game and finished runner-up in the Mr. Iowa basketball voting. He initially accepted a full-ride scholarship to the University of Southern California under legendary coach George Raveling. Unfortunately, George Raveling was involved in a car accident and had to relinquish his coaching responsibilities. As a result of the coaching change, he briefly transferred to Orange County Community College in Los Angeles, where he was required to walk on and try out. Not being deterred, he returned back to Waterloo and transferred to the University of Northern Iowa Panthers. In 1993, he was his freshman redshirt year for the Panthers, and in his sophomore campaign, he averaged 11 points, 3 assists and 3 rebounds. Some unfortunate circumstances resulted in a change in career plans, and in 2002, he returned back to the University of Northern Iowa and received his liberal arts degree with a minor in history in 2002. He subsequently pursued and in 2007 received his master's degree in human services. He currently resides with his spouse in St. Louis, Missouri. He currently serves as the assistant director to one of the largest therapeutic residential treatment programs in Missouri. This gentleman is affectionately known as Snake, and he confesses that during his journey in life, he affirmatively commits that being married and serving God has been his greatest accomplishment. He confesses the greatest message he can convey to you and to all is to read and hear about the greatest story ever told, the story of Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, Cedric Snake Robinson, his brother Scott.
Well, I accept this on behalf of Cedric. He made me promise I would keep it short and not embarrass him. So if he was here, he would say, give the glory to God. So that'll be it.
It's all good when God's in the house. All righty. This gentleman started his playing career in 1985 and is one of a few players in Trojan history to start varsity as a freshman. During his freshman campaign, he was third on the team in scoring with 173 points behind greats like Clarence Wright and John Dennebear, and he led the team in assists. During his sophomore year, he averaged 24 points a game and was selected first to the first-team Big Five roster. In his final 2 seasons leading the Trojans, he averaged 20 and 18 points respectively and was selected first-team All-Metro, first-team Big 8, and first-team All-State. He played along such greats like Mr. Basketball of Iowa and current inductee Mike Davis. You should note he also led his team to a number 23 national ranking according to the USA Today polls. I don't know if it was as good as our number 1 state ranking in 1982, but we'll go with that. This honoree received a scholarship to attend Nyack Community College and was selected second team all-conference in 1988 while averaging 21 points a game. And in 1989, he transferred to Augustana University. He averaged 16 points while he was there and was voted best new player in the league. He finished his college career in 1993 at St. Ambrose College, who was a part of the National Elite Eight in the NAIA. He continued to receive accolades to include Best Defensive Player. Looked like he was looking up. That's a joke between us ball players. In his professional working career, he has worked in leadership roles for companies to include Barjan Products, the Underground Shoe Store, Alpha Express, and currently he is employed at John Deere's. He's recently started officiating the game he so loves. It is with great pleasure I introduce to you Lashy Culpepper.
Just want to say I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to accept this. It's been a long time since this started. It got started back when I remember my first time coming to this gym, and that was when one of our fallen soldiers who's not here, Mr. Henry Walligan, he was a person that I came up under in my neighborhood, and may he rest in peace. But that was the first game I ever saw as an East High basketball player, and ever since then, I knew I wanted to be a Trojan. I knew I was going to be a Trojan. I knew that, and I knew I wanted to be on that court. ever since then, I wanted to be on that court. And I just want to thank McGraw for giving me the chance, coming here as a ninth grader to play varsity for 4 years. I never thought that would have happened, but when he gave me the opportunity, I knew I was up for it. I want to thank all the people that saw me dribbling the basketball in the street, coming up and down the street, like Curtis and Mr. Wallakin, get out the way. But I thank y'all for taking me in my neighborhood and letting me do the things that I did. I want to thank my mom for when I was in the house and putting up a rack up in the hallway with a sock, playing basketball, dribbling the ball. I thank you for that. I want to thank God for letting me be here for today. And I just want to say, you know, coming up under the guys like Freddie Franklin, Roy Walker, Tyrone Scott, those are the guys that I had to follow. And those were some big footsteps. But I think I feel those footsteps because I had some great teachers. And I believe in orange and black until I die. And I just want to say, give all glory to God. Thanks.
Something wrong with this picture because I'm the only one up here sweating. And I've been here already. What's going on? They call it menopause. All right. Sorry for the delay. This class member is unable to attend today as well, but man, what a great story, and we want to give his story out now. He assumed the Kirkwood Community College presidency, on January the 1st of 2005. Previously, he served as executive president at that college. He received his bachelor's and master's degree from the University of Northern Iowa. He earned a doctorate degree from Drake. He taught mathematics, served as an assistant principal, superintendent in and around Iowa schools for over 30 years. He coached men's basketball, men's and women's golf, women's volleyball at 3 different high schools in Iowa, at Waterloo Columbus, at East and Danville Independent School District. In fact, he started the volleyball programs at each of those schools. Talk about pioneering. Prior to coming to Kirkwood in July of 2003 as executive vice president, he served as a superintendent at the College Community School District in Cedar Rapids, Iowa for 11 years. He also served as an adjunct professor at Drake University for 20 years. He currently serves on a variety of community, state, and national boards, including Junior Achievement Executive Board, U.S. Bank Board, Horizons Family Services Executive Board, the Arc of Eastern Iowa Endowment Committee, Iowa Community College Presidents, Community College Humanities Association Board Member, League for Innovation in the Community College Board Member. We welcome Dr. Milton Mick Starcevich to the East High Ring of Honor. And I will accept on his behalf. All right, bear with me. We're almost there. All right. I had the pleasure of playing basketball with this honoree's older brother, and I've been good friends with his family most of my life. I know with certainty your family and Big Hank are very, very proud of you. This honoree played at East High from 1989 to 1991. He was a 3-year starter during his playing career, and his pedigree includes going to the state tournament 3 consecutive years, and he was an integral part of the 1990 state championship team. That included, again, our Mayor Quentin Hart, current inductees and committee member Cortez McGee, Ring of Honor first ballot inductee Mike Davis, A few others back here. He and his teammates also finished runner-up in 1991. While averaging over 20 points a game and 7 rebounds, he was named to the All-State team, and he is noted as one of very few African Americans in the state of Iowa to be named to the All-State academic team. He was also named All-Tournament team as well. He initially accepted an academic scholarship to Iowa State University, and after 2 years, he transferred to Winona State University. During the 94-95 campaign, he averaged 6 points and 3 rebounds per game. He acquired his Bachelor of Science in Human Resource Management from Winona State University and a Master's in Human Resources Management from the University of Texas at Arlington. He is currently the Human Resources Director for the City of the Colony in Colony, Texas. Me and him got something in common, human resources. Lives in Frisco, Texas. He's the proud father of Landon. I present to you Rodney Rip Them Nets Wallackhead.
So when I talked to Freddie, first thing he told me was be prepared. So here I am, Freddie. And you didn't tell me how long I had either. This is such an honor. When I was informed that I was selected to be part of this prolific group, I was honestly shocked. I sit on the phone often with my cousin and my nephew and some of my former teammates, and we talk about the best players that ever came through Waterloo. And I don't even put myself nowhere near the top of the list. So this is really, it was really a shock for me when I found this out. I never really thought about myself being inducted anytime soon. I thought maybe if I did, I'd be coming up here on a cane or something like that. But luckily, I'm still fresh and healthy. One of the things that I'm truly honored by is to be inducted with 3 people that were so instrumental in my development. 3 people that touched a lot of basketball lives here in Waterloo. First and foremost was Roy Walker. When I was coming up, you guys heard, my brother started a lot of this. And I remember Roy playing ball as well, at the house, at Sullivan with my brother, and I always tried to show out for them. I was a little short, fat kid, but I wanted to play basketball because that's what they did. So when I found out that Roy was going to be here, that was even more of an honor for me. Secondly was Tyrone Scott. I call him Ice. I remember riding my bike over to Ice's house while my brother would be jogging alongside me, pick him up and jog. I'd ride my bike. We go to Sullivan, and I watch them play basketball. And then when his brother Tellis and I used to chill out in the basement and look at that big George Gervin poster that he had downstairs, Ice was an idol to everybody in the neighborhood. And he was definitely one of my idols. He had no idea that we were that in awe of him. Anything he did at UT Pan American or anywhere, we were following Ice. I saw so much talent back then. Names that some of you remember: Black Frost, Elliot Wise, Freddie Franklin, Jerry Nash. The list goes on and on. I'd watch those guys, and then I'd head back home to my driveway to practice. And I can't forget about Lashy Culpepper, the neighborhood legend. Outside of having the most well-composed curl in the 80s, his game his game was something that I had never seen before. I remember Lashi would come to my parents' house, and we were the neighborhood basketball driveway. And Lashi would come, and they would play. Of course, I couldn't. Y'all was wrong for that. So everybody playing in my basketball court and wouldn't let me play. And I'd just be in amazement. I would go brag to my friends that, man, Lashi played in my driveway. But I understand it all now. It wasn't my time. So when Freddie talks about patience, that's one thing that I learned growing up. This honor made me reflect on how I became me, my journey. I was told to lead some words of encouragement for the youth that are coming up here, and I thought about it. And I know a lot of kids have hoop dreams and other types of dreams. But the first thing I thought of was who helped me along the way. Of course, I could go on and on with a list of who helped, but I'll keep it short. Couldn't possibly leave the stage without acknowledging a few people. My message in all this: be patient, figure out what you like and what you're good at, and perfect it. And take every advantage to get as much education as possible. Unbeknownst to most of you, I was never the stud basketball player growing up. I was decent amongst my peers, but I wasn't a phenom like some of the names you see, some of the people you see on this stage. A lot of my development can be attested to the guidance and input of other people. All of you probably know my dad, Henry Wallakin Sr. He was pretty stern when I was growing up. I couldn't go to all the other neighborhoods and play basketball like some of my friends. I couldn't go to Boston. I couldn't go to City View. I had to play right there within either being able to hear his or my mom's voice call me to come home. So I spent countless days and hours in the driveway with my neighborhood friends: Bryce Meeks, Tellis Scott, Marcus Essex, Reggie Teague, and my cousin, rest in peace, Frank Davis. And for a little while, Lashi's cousin, Scooter Culpepper. Man, we shoveled snow in order to play. We'd play all night. That was our thing, kept us out of trouble. That's where we developed our skills, and that's where I developed more of a love for the game. I'd like to thank Walt Reed, Benny Walker, who devoted that time, that little time and effort that it took to keep the Gates League going. That was our AAU of the 80s. I'll never forget my first summer playing. I was in 5th grade, and me and my cousin Maine would ride our bikes to Gates so he could keep track of my stats. Typically, it was 0 points, maybe a rebound or two. But I was just happy to be on the court with people like Carl Waters, Lance Dunn, Michael Muhammad. I never got to touch the ball. The only thing that gave me a little bit of playing time was I could rebound and I could scrap. I remember just loving to be on the sidelines, watching the big league games of the Gates League. Lashi Diedrich, James Scott, Terry Woods, Chris Gaines, list goes on and on. Or just hanging out at the park, watching the older players go at it. Lashi mentioned Clarence Wright. We all call him Camp. Mike Levy, Rome Mabry, Hank Kennedy, Steve Barnes. I saw some legendary battles. Thanks to Coach DeWard and Coach Jones for taking the extra time to give me pointers back in 7th and 8th grade. And to Coach McGraw for letting me play in open gym with the big dogs when I was in 8th grade. That was invaluable. People ask how I could play down low at 6 feet tall. Man, the way that Marcus Anderson, they called him Glide, Stormy Gardner, Mike D, Rico, and all the rest used to punish me down low, I had no choice but to learn to play that way or not play at all. I had to learn things that didn't require me having the ball in my hands. So I threw everything into rebounding and passing the ball. Make sure you get the ball to Lashi Make sure you get the ball to Mike D. That's how I stayed on the court, and get some rebounds. My high school career was yet another example of having patience and playing my role. My freshman year, we had other stars on our sophomore squad. Cortez McGee, Chris Roby, they were the mainstays. I was just glad to be there as always. So I continued my role-playing agenda, rebound and defense hustle, through my sophomore, junior year. I mean, those were Mike D's teams. I just wanted to help. And I helped, all the way to a state championship. Going into my senior year, not much was expected of us. We were a bunch of short no-names, but we were a group of scrappers. It was at that time that I could finally show what I've been working on for years. That year didn't turn out too bad. Another trip to the state championship, and one player away from possibly back-to-back championships. Also like to thank Ice, Carl Fantroy. Going back to the how could you play down low at only 6 feet, it was a hindrance when it came to being recruited by colleges, but those two took a lot of time before and after practice, giving me tips on things that I needed to do to learn the guard position. I had a few options when it was all said and done out of high school. Luckily, and this is really the lesson that I want the young people to listen to, kept my grades up. And I had academic scholarships as well. So I didn't rely on basketball all the way. Thanks to my parents for making almost every game that I ever played in since 7th grade. How many kids can say that? Thanks to all the teammates, friends, and coaches that helped to develop me into the person I am today. Athletics has a way of grooming you for future endeavors that you aren't aware of at the time. Again, what's my message? Be patient, play your role. Focus on a few things that you do well, and work hard to perfect them. May not get you into the Ring of Honor, may not get you to the NFL or the NBA, but maybe it'll allow you to walk across the stage and accept a college degree at some point. Maybe it'll allow you to be a mayor, like Quentin Hart, be a ranking officer in the military, or be a supervisor at your job. Athletics are short-lived. I've been retired for 20 years. Had I put all my eggs into the athletics basket, I'd be eggless at this time. Enjoy your youth, cherish the moments, and always realize there's a bigger picture to life. And to all the adults here, I think this is really important. You never know what imprint you're leaving on someone that's up and coming. You never know who's watching you. Lashi and Ice had no idea that they had such a profound effect on my athletic career. Freddie Franklin, my brother, most people, you don't have any idea, but kids are watching you. I've had a lot of idols over the years just based on watching them play ball at the park. Hopefully some of the people that I mentioned tonight are in the audience. Again, you had no idea you were part of my development. This is a great honor, but it's not just mine. I think it's all of ours. God bless. Thank you.
He was prepared. All right. All right, we're down to the final two, and this is a tough one for me, but out of respect, we're going to end with our most senior inductee of the two. So I'll start with one of my best friends. This local legend joined the Trojans in 1979, and I'm proud to say that I'm one of his teammates. During the 1980-81 season, he was named All-Metro First Team, Second Team Big Eight, and he led the team in scoring. During the 81-82 season, he was selected as captain, led his team to a 22-2 record, a #1 state ranking according to the Des Moines Register poll, selected first team All Big Eight, first team All State, Metro Player of the Year, selected to the Dr. Pepper All-Star Game, drafted to the NBA. His team placed third in the state tourney. He was also third in scoring at the state tourney, and we finished with a third place finish. He also attended Nyack Community College and was selected as the 82-83 Freshman of the Year. He also received first team all-conference honors. During his sophomore year, he was selected first team all-conference, named Iowa Junior College Player of the Year, and he was an All-American selection. Based on his success at the junior college level, he was offered and accepted a full-ride scholarship to Division I Pan America University. His first year at PAU, he led the team to a 20-8 record under legendary coach Lon Kruger. His final season, he was voted team captain. He was MVP of the PAU Christmas Classic. And one of his greatest flashbacks is when he scored 25 points, 7 assists against Break Your Ankles, Tim Hardaway. He is proud to stake claim to being the first and only father to be selected as Metro MVP, first team All-State, and have 2 sons achieve similar accolades. The next inductee into the Trojans' prestigious Ring of Honor is my friend, my classmate, my backcourt mate, our Magic Johnson, Tyrone Ice Scott Jr.
All right. First of all, John, y'all didn't spell my name, right? But we'll take that over. I must not have been too much of a ring. I didn't spell my name, right? But anyway, first of all, I'd like to thank the committee for voting me on this. It's been a long time since I've been back in Eastside Gym. But the main person I want to thank is my mom and my dad, who couldn't be here, my daughter Finesse, my grandkids, how y'all doing? My sister Yolanda. Through thick and thin, they've been there for me. You know, through good and bad. Second thing I'd like to say is, I just want to tell you guys, Rodney, Lashy, about our parents. All been together for over 50 years. You know, let's give them a hand. Because without them, there is no us. You know, they've been through our good times and bad times, so I just want to get everybody give them a hand. Now, as far as basketball, this man right here, I'm going to tell you a story, quick little story. I was in 7th grade at Logan. I was on the B team. I was a scrub. I was a scrub. And I never forget, see, I went to Van Eden Krieg. Nobody ever heard of those schools, have they? My point exactly. Never heard. We did because we went to school there. So I'm going to Logan, Timmy Moses, and I hear this guy named Freddie Franklin, 7th grade McKinstry, supposed to be a great player. So I go in the gym, I'm on our B team, we played, we won. You know, I had about 5 or 6 points, you know. And this guy comes on the floor, that's Freddie Franklin. So, who is Freddie Franklin? Well, by the end of the night, and we had a real good team. We had Tim Moses and Jay Williams, and we had a real great team. And they had Freddie Franklin, McKinstry. That's all they had. But that's all they needed. When he got done, the final score was 50-49, and Freddie had 49. I think Reggie Wyatt made 1 free throw. And then I honestly believe you, I think he might have missed 2 shots the whole game. And this was without even 3-pointers. These are all pull-up jump shots, off picks. He had 2 fat guys setting picks, and that was it. And he came on, I mean, I'm going to tell you, he's the greatest junior high player I ever seen. And I remember him after the game, I talked to him, he said, well, you know, we'll get together this summer and we'll work out. And I kept him to that because I wanted to be a player. And I remember him coming by the house with his combat boots on, his leg weights, and he said, hey, you got the perfect area to work out in. Run these hills right here by Gates Park. And day after day, we ran those hills. We shot, ran hills, shot, ran hills. And then I wouldn't tell him, but I would get up at 6 or 7 in the morning and go shoot myself without him knowing it. I mean, I got many whoopings for staying out till 1 or 2 o'clock playing basketball. Because back then, the street lights at Sullivan would come on at 1 o'clock, and you had to be there. If you was going to be a primetime player, you had to be at Sullivan at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's when Don Ross was there, Sammy Minton, Roy Walker. That's when they played, when they got a cooler. And if you want to be a player, you had to be there. And I just want to thank him, give him a special thanks for taking this big lick kid and making him a ball player. You know, and I'm just so proud to be inducted with my neighborhood guys. Lashley, Roy. Roy's my mentor also. He's left-handed just like I am, and he taught me a lot of stuff, a lot of things about basketball. You know, I've been very, very lucky to play for some great coaches. I want to just say that. Marvin Ward, probably one of the best, he should have been a high school coach, one of the best coaches I've ever had. Coach McGraw, of course. Herb Coinsmark at Nyack, and Coach Lion Kruger. So I've played with some great coaches. So you young people out here, you know, listen to your coaches, no matter good or bad. You know, be coachable. Respect your parents. Respect your elders. Respect where you came from. Learn the history of basketball at East High. And I guarantee if you learn that, you'll be a great player. But I just want to say that I'm really thankful for having this award. And I want to thank Freddie and the committee and Walt and all the people for having me here today. And God bless y'all and thank you.
Man, it's amazing the circle of life, because like he was looking at me, I was looking at him. Because all I heard was ice, 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 baby. So here's to you. All right, our final inductee. In 1973, this young man joined the Trojans family, and he was a two-sport athlete. He excelled in football and basketball, and lettered in both sports his senior year. A testament to his academia and his orating capabilities, during high school he won the Forensic State Individual Speech Contest, reciting Dr. Martin Luther Jr. King's I Have a Dream speech. He noted, "I'm proud to state I graduated from East High with a 3.4 grade point average." Upon graduation in 1975, he received a basketball scholarship to attend Iowa Lakes Community College in Estherville, Iowa. He subsequently transferred to Mary Holmes Junior College in West Point, Mississippi, where he played basketball as well. Upon departing Mary Holmes, he returned back to Waterloo, where in May of 1978, he capitalized on his orating skill set, and accepted a role with KBBG radio station. And if you remember KBBG back in the day when I was growing up, that was the bomb station. He held several roles to include an intern, an on-air announcer, a television news reporter, and anchorman. In 1987, he moved to Atlanta, Georgia, where he lived and worked as a manager at Soul Vegetarian Restaurant. During his tenure with Soul Vegetarian Restaurant, he took a year sabbatical and traveled to Israel and Northeast Africa. While there, he testifies, he was blessed to serve as a missionary with the African Hebrew Israelites of Jerusalem. After his enlightening experience, he returned back to the United States to manage for 7 consecutive years the Soul Vegetarian Restaurant in Charleston, South Carolina. In 2012, he decided his calling was to return back to Ghana, West Africa, where he currently resides. He currently engages in farming and is a respected consultant in the region with regard to human dietary standards and maintaining healthy lifestyles. Please welcome Eliyahav Ben Rahim, also known as Roy the Joy, or the Maestro Walker.
Well, Ty, let me check see if they spelled my name right.
Roy, they might spell you R-O.
Oh, it's correct. First of all, want to give all honor and praises to the God of our fathers, the Creator. And I want to thank the East High Ring of Honor Committee for this great honor. I want to thank my parents. My dad is here tonight, J.L. Vivians, and my sister, Mardra Galloway, and her daughter, Tania, Dustin, Christian, Amelia, and my cousin, Michelle Bell. And I want to thank all of you for coming tonight, because this is truly a great honor. I want to thank my fellow inductees, when we say fellow, we mean everybody. That's you too, sister. You know, when you're honored among your hometown, that's a great honor. And I certainly have to honor my big brother, Benny Walker Jr., and Freddie, I got to go over here right. These young men and Sammy Minton were my great and are my great mentors for so many years. All a part of this great orange and black tradition. Yeah, Sammy, you were part of that 56-game winning streak as a football player. But he's on this stage tonight. Benny Walker Jr., thank you. Walter Reed Jr., thank you. We all grew up in the same neighborhood, just almost a stone's throw away from here, Smith Street. We ran that neighborhood. And some things that I can't speak about here tonight that we did, but it was all a part of this great upbringing. And I want to congratulate my fellow inductees. These young men, man, I tell you, you talk about being proud. Hey, I'm proud of these boys. And I can say boys because, I carry it like that. This young man here, hey, he was way ahead of his time. Freddie Franklin, hey, he was doing things, Tyrone, you said, in junior high that most men were not doing. Did you hear what I said? And it's true. Way ahead of his time. You would hear reports, this guy at McKinstry Junior High, 40 and 50 points every week. I said, man, I gotta meet this guy. But not only as an athlete, but as a young man with a tremendous amount of respect and humility. I thought he was going to mention it, but I guess he didn't. So maybe I'll leave it alone. I'll leave that alone. Go ahead and say it. Is this your grandson? I should have known. Well, Freddie, what year was it? 80 something. In the Gates Park Youth Basketball League, one of the first or second years, you see, Freddie is a competitor. I mean, as he said, he hates to lose. Hates to lose. Just, hey man, and everybody on his team, man, they be in the same spirit. Well, let me regress. I don't want to forget my brother back here, Black Frost. Pay the cost to be the boss. UJP for the funk. And also, I cannot forget Hawkeye Harold Sutherland. Such great mentors and those that involved in the Gates Park Youth Basketball League, and my cousin Melvina Scott also. But getting back to Freddie. Now, this particular year, he's the captain of his team. He's always been in the leadership role. Well, this game was at the Little Gates there, below the swimming pool. He got a little heated, and it was a challenge. It was going to be either him, me, or the total existence of the Gates Park Youth Basketball League. Now, I had to make a decision, Ty. So, we got to argue. And I couldn't. The integrity of the league and the very existence of the league, that's how serious it was. So, I had to kick him out of the league. Now, this is the best player, not only in the Gates Park Youth Basketball League, but in the city of Waterloo, arguably the state of Iowa. And to be kicked out of the league? Oh, man. It was the most painful decision I've ever had to make in my life to this day. Because I love this young man. But I had to do that. And it pained me. It pained me. So, players like Tyrone and some of the others in the league at that time said, Roy, you gotta get Freddie back in here. I said, no. So a couple of weeks went by, and I said, well, all right, you tell him. You tell him if he want to come and apologize to me, then I'll consider it. I'll never forget it at Sullivan Park at the water fountain. Do you remember? He came and apologized. Now, it took a great man to do that. So I'm sending a message to you youngsters that are here, and there are a few. You always don't be too proud to beg. Never be too proud. And he came and apologized, and so, man, that took a great load off of me, boy. I was sure happy he did it because I couldn't go to him and apologize. So, Freddie, thank you very much. I have a great love for this young man. He's just special, a special spirit. And these, my fellow inductees, and I'm sorry Snake couldn't be here. I was looking forward to seeing him. You tell him I'm going to call him. I ain't going to beat him up, but you tell him I'll call him. And East High, we talked about that 56-game winning streak. We talked about all the championships here that we achieved at East High School. But it pains me to know that for many years, Junior and Walt, many years, we've had losing streaks. It's just, we can't even imagine that. Sammy, we can't even imagine that. So we got to get it back, whatever it takes, in the parks, in the kitchen, shooting with a sock. I used to shoot in my mom's kitchen. She's not here today. She's a little bit under the weather, but Josephine Vivians, we love you. She used to run me out of the kitchen. I used to use a sock also, you didn't know, and a trash can in the kitchen. Whatever it takes, we got to get it back. I arrived in the U.S. here late August, and Freddie, I went to every park in Waterloo. No basketball. How could that be? Yeah, Rodney, we used to shovel the snow at Gates Park there just so we could shoot, play basketball. But it's Mr. Walken, it's not there anymore. It really pains me. So whatever we have to do, Steve Barnes, whatever we have to do, we got to get this East High orange and black tradition back on top. Whatever we have to do, huh? Because we were talking before the ceremony opened, we used to get police escorts into these different cities. Is it true, Sammy Minton? Right, yep. Because of how awesome we were. We had to have a police escort. It's like Barack Obama going into doing a speech. Police escorts. Secret Service. Well, we had to have police escorts because we were so awesome. But we got to get those days back. And these great mentors like Freddie and Tyrone, Lashi, Sammy, and our sister here, Cortez, John, we got to get back in there and shake the bushes. Because if we don't do it, who's going to do it? So I didn't want to speak long. Freddie said I only had 3 minutes, and he's in charge tonight. So, but I just want to thank all of you for coming, and this is certainly a great honor to be on the same card with all of these great individuals. And Freddie, you stay strong. And I'm trying to follow in your footsteps because he's a great man. Thank all of you. I love all of you, and looking forward to seeing you in Ghana, West Africa. Thank you very much.
So the rest of that story was, I did get kicked off. I did have to apologize. So when we were asking the inductees to send in their bios so we could have a nice presentation, Roy was a little slow about getting his bio in. So I told him I didn't want to have to kick him off the team. And he didn't get kicked off. So in closing, we have some programs from last year that has some great East High basketball trivia and facts that you can purchase from Cortez and Mr. Walter Reed Jr. for $5 a piece. We have a number of autographed tennis shoes over there from a number of professional players. You know, they always say it's about the shoes. If you grew up with Spike Lee, it's about the shoes, it's about the shoes. For some of us, this is as close to our dream as we could get. So if you can touch your dream, there you go. In closing, Walt, is there anything you want to say in closing?
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for coming. This is our third program, and I'm so glad that we're able to put this on. I want to recognize the committee, John Holmes, Coach John Holmes, Coach Cortez McGee. Not here tonight is William Sonny Fagan, and then I'm the chair. But we don't do anything unless we get the okay from Benny Walker Jr., who made it out tonight. I just, man. 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, me and him was grabbing the rim, and now we're getting rolled around. I ain't mad at you, Lord. Every day is a blessing. I want to also recognize the wait staff who helped out tonight. Miss Geneva Reed, Bridget Saffold, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I've been down since July, and I've been trying to get it together since then. And if it wasn't for Geneva, I just couldn't make it. I couldn't make it. I couldn't even get in here without her help. And then I want to say to the inductees, well, before I go there, I want to talk about the youngsters coming up. Roy, you talked about we got to get it back and shake the bushes. Well, Corey, put your hand up. Put your hand up, Corey. He's shaking bushes. Where's Astor at? Where's Astor? Astor is shaking bushes right now. They just need our help and our support. And what I love about them is they did the same thing Benny Walker and I did. We come and ask for your help. And if you don't help, we do it anyway. We do it anyway. And I moved back to town in June of 1979, and I was riding down 4th Street where Roy Walker saw me. He was flagging me down. He said, man, I need some help up at Gates Park. I hadn't even really got my clothes out the car. I need some help up at Gates Park refereeing. And I went up there that night, and I refereed and I volunteered for Gates from 1979 to 2007. And the Gates Park Basketball League, say what you want, but the whole Trojan thing turned around during those years. And we've had so many noticeable greats that we're going to bring them back. And our primary reason for doing that is because we want the young people to see that this is not the end. You're going to end up somewhere right here. And what great stories to tell young people if they listen. 1 or 2 will listen, maybe not all of them, but 1 or 2 will listen. And rather than me tell the story, I want them to come and tell the story. So with that, again, I want to thank you all very much for coming. And I want to thank our MC, Brother Freddie Franklin. I mean, he has more ideas than Carter got pills. And if you get a chance, if you want to help us out a little bit, we have the program books that have great history on East High School, not only basketball, but football. I think we had about 4 or 5 NFL players, and people only know about 1 or 2. But we got way more than that. We haven't got an NBA All-Star yet. But Corey, there's the challenge. There's the challenge. And so with that, B-Dub, anything? You good? We're good. Freddie.
All right, the last thing before we close, Walt asked me to do, as part of really trying to understand our history in Waterloo, I've been able to do some research, and a lot of people heard of Murray Weir, and people have aspirations of going to the NBA. Well, Murray Weir was in the NBA. You know, he was part of the National Basketball Association. So dreams do come true. And I was fortunate to find a ticket that has Waterloo Hawks playing against the Denver Nuggets in 1950. This is an original ticket, and they used to play at the McElroy Stadium. So if anybody's interested in seeing that or touching a little history, it'll be over there with the tennis shoes. So thank you for coming. It's been a great night. Congratulations to our inductees. We look forward to seeing you next year. God bless and be safe.